Live. You're live. Cool. Hey, look, I'm up there as well. Feedback loop. In feedback loop. Make the wait, hang on. I gotta wait for it to. Oh, this is how long the delay is. This is really awkward. There you go. Because now it's going to be. That's me. Okay, great. I did that for too long because I forgot that there's obviously a delay. Hi everyone. Can everyone hear me? Can you all hear me? Okay. Everyone can hear me. Good. Great. Brilliant. Fantastic. Fine. Hi. I'm Jack. Hi. Hello. Ask me questions in the chat. Down there. Which way is it going to be? It'll be down that way, won't it? Yeah. Down here. Thanks for watching that. I hope you had fun. I mean, hi. I'm just going to keep saying hi, apparently. My name's Jack Garratt, and we're just going to wait for a few more people to join. So I'll just keep saying that my name is Jack Garratt, and my song Higher, we just premiered it on YouTube, which was fun. It's a very sweaty show. For those of you who are watching it, which I hope is all of you, I mean, first of all, Gabe, Jesus Christ, an amazing question straight out the gate. Do I drink scotch? And if so, what kind? Yes, I do. And I believe the kind is any scotch, although I do prefer bourbon. Anyway, we're not on questions yet because I need someone to hand me questions so that I can answer them without going crazy. First things first, a couple of press bits just to get them out of the way so I can get them done. If you're in the UK, I'm going to come to a few places. Well, if you're in England, sorry, to Wales, Scotland, and Ireland. But if you're in England, I'm going to spend the next week coming to a couple of cities, and I'm going to play Pillars from front to back. We're going to do some album listening parties. I'm coming to Brighton tomorrow. That's at Alphabet Bar. I'm coming to Manchester on the 31st of August at 33 Oldham, which is a listening bar in Manchester. And then I'm coming to, Exeter on the 1st of August. And that's going to be, I've got them written down. I'm not looking at them. That's at 12 Bar. And then London, unfortunately, it's already sold out. So I'm not even going to tell you about it because it's done. You're all too late. Unless you weren't, in which case, congrats. I'll see you there. So that's those things done. So second things, acoustic in-stores. I've got them coming up at the end of August. I'm going to be, again, coming up and down the country. I am going to Scotland for those ones, where I'm going to play some shows when the album's out. All of those dates you can find on my website on jackgarratt.com. I'm coming to loads of places. We're going to Bristol, we're going to Newcastle, we're going to Manchester, Birmingham. I'm coming to Glasgow and Edinburgh. I'm coming to Bury. I'm coming to Leamington Spa. Going to Bristol. Loads of places. So yeah, come to all of them. You can get your vinyl and tickets in at my website. I mean, give me some questions, bro. I got some questions. I asked some people asked me some things on Instagram the other day, which I asked you to submit questions yesterday, and some people did, which was very kind. So I'm going to answer some of those first, and then I'll just have a look through the chat, and I will answer any questions that you've got. So the first question from CJ.WNS on Instagram is Pillars tour ? Maybe including the USA ? I mean, no ? Infuriatingly, there isn't a tour on the books at the moment, but that's not to say that there won't be one. That's purely just because touring is really expensive, and it's hard to do. There will be one. We are going to figure that out. I can't say when. I can't say where. I have to. It's been ages since I've done a proper tour, and I really miss you guys. I miss coming and playing in front of you. So fingers crossed, I will be doing one soon. but there's nothing on the books yet. In America, I will be back as soon as I can be. Literally, the minute I'm able to, the minute they'll let me in, then I will be there. But not yet. No, sorry. Next question is from. Oh wait, hang on. On the chat. Welcome people to the live stream. Yeah, no, I will. Yeah, no, that's fine. I will come into the chat as well and answer those questions. And hi, guys, welcome. Okay, let me just go through all of these as they're coming in. I answered the question from Gabe. If I drink scotch, yes, I do. I don't. No, actually, that's a lie. I don't. I drink bourbon, and mostly I drink tequila. So no, but yes. Beverly is asking if you can get your hands on the caps. Look, guys, I got to be really real with you. The camo caps are way more popular than I thought they were going to be. It's not my fault that I'm a creative visionary and that I design incredible merchandise. However, because you want them so much, no, I'm not going to give them to you. The camo caps are only available in person. They will be at the listing parties exclusively. They won't be anywhere else. And I think they're probably going to sell out. So if you want one, you've got to come to one of the listing parties. Sorry. We'll probably do more runs of them in the future. No, I mean, no, we won't. Scarcity. No, we won't. They won't exist ever again. Next. Matt Flanagan, am I coming back to the US? I mean, again, I would love to, but at the moment, there's no plans. Fingers crossed I might be able to. Tom with the chicken farm. Yay. Tom, I sent you you got a cameo from me. That's very nice. Let's do another one from Instagram that came in. This is a nice question. James _GDHL asked me if comedy influences my music in any way. I mean, the answer is no, it doesn't. I mean, well, it kind of does. Only in the sense that I am a huge fan of Stephen Sondheim, who I think is the greatest lyricist of our generation. Unfortunately, passed away a few months, no, like a year ago. He passed away ages ago now. And obviously, there's a lot of comedy in his writing. He writes musicals. He's like famous for having written Sweeney Todd and Into the Woods, and the lyrics for West Side Story. I love the wit in his lyricism, and when it's appropriate, I try and apply a similar kind of, not a similar kind of wit, because I'm not as funny as he was, nor can I write humor with the brevity that he wrote it with. But I try and write things that make me smile, that make me laugh. But no, I don't really. I don't think I'm going to bring out like a parody album anytime soon. But I think comedy, like any kind of writing, or like any kind of storytelling, you need humor to be able to soften the blows of tension. But I love that question. That's a really good one. What's next? Pauline asked me a really poignant, not poignant, a very good question. What time for Alphabet Bar in Brighton? The times are going to be, what have we got? I've got them here. I think tomorrow at Alphabet, it's at 6 o'clock in the evening. And then Manchester at 33 Oldham, it's 7 o'clock in the evening. 12 Bar in Exeter is Exeter is 7:30 in the evening. And then BTW in London, that's at 6 as well. But what a appropriate and insightful question. In which I got to really bare my heart to you. What else? Thomas Parker, I think I've already answered one of yours. Do I need someone to drive me around? I mean, annoyingly, I've got to do it myself for the in-stores. I'm driving myself around. Yeah, it's going to be me and all of my gear in a car, driving up and down the country, trying to find parking in fucking Bristol. It's going to be fun. So it's not my fault if I am tired when I do the shows. Yes, it is. It's entirely my fault. I mean, Matt Flanagan, another question from you, because you're the only person asking them. Weirdest fan interaction that I've ever had, and the most adorable fan interaction I've ever had. I remember I remember in Manchester when I was doing the first album, I was playing a show. Yeah, I was playing a show in Manchester. I was playing in a church. I think it was at like a day festival. I can't remember what the church was called, but it was a gorgeous church. It was like a big day festival. Loads of people there. And I was doing a show, and I remember getting off the tour bus and walking around. I was on my way to find coffee, and I bumped into someone who said, I look a lot like Jack Garratt. And I was going through a period where I was denying that that's who I was when fans asked me, because it was funny. And this guy took me really seriously when I said, no, I just get that all the time. He was like, oh, okay, I'm really sorry. And then I had to do the awkward thing of being like, no, it is me. And I felt so bad, I gave him guest list to the show that night. So if you see me in the street, ask me if I am who I am, and if I get awkward enough, I will apparently give you free tickets to whatever I'm doing. It's a good thing for you to learn. Beverly JT Royston asks, what's my favorite song on the new record? I do really like Higher. I do think that song is really good. I'm really happy with that one. I've been listening to the next single a lot, actually, and I forgot how much I love that one. Yeah, the next single, I mean, there's fucking 10 of you here. Like, I can tell you, the next single comes out next Tuesday. And that will be I do like that song a lot. It's a classic Jack Garratt with soaring melodies. And it's going to make you feel things. Fingers crossed. I mean, that is the plan. So I like that one as well. But no, Hire's a really fun one. I like all the singles so far. There's a song on the album called Flower Girl Confetti, Hopeful Fidelity Lasts, which was like the last thing I wrote for the record. And that one means a lot to me. That came very late in the day and happened very quickly, and immediately I was like, that's going on the album. Yeah, I mean, if you're coming to Brighton, you'll hear it tomorrow. Okay, Colby Knight asks, do I have a hard time choosing what to create given I'm not a one-trick pony musically? Yes, I mean, it's a good question. I think the one-trick pony thing is I think that's interesting. I don't think there's anything wrong with knowing I don't think there's anything wrong with knowing the language you speak most fluently. And I think if you're a songwriter, if you are an artist and you have a media that you prefer, you have a genre that you prefer, you have something that you can tell your strongest story within that framework, fucking great. Like, more power to you. I think I find that really hard to do. And I have a lot of respect for people who can do it. I don't think it's easy. I don't think it's like, I know what you mean about one trick pony. It feels like it's the same thing over and over again. And some people, I do think that is what they do. But I would say the majority of songwriters write in the language they know the best. I think infuriatingly for me, the language I know the best is anxiety and not being able to choose to make a decision. So I go from, I don't really jump from genre to genre, but I also try not to prevent myself from, to be honest, I try and take you guys, you in the chat, my fans, audience, whoever, I try and take you guys out of the room immediately. Because the minute you come into the room, the minute I bring you into the room by thinking about you, is when I start thinking like that and start thinking about how it's going to sound rather than what I want to write. And that's hard practice. That sometimes, some days that's really easy, other days that's really hard. But that's a very, very good question. I love that. Matt Flanagan, he's back with another great observation. I love that this isn't a question. This is just a morbid fact. I have a playlist called Wedding Funeral, songs I want played at both. Weathered, one of the greatest songs ever. You're very kind. I know what you mean. It's a weird song, that, because it's very romantic, but it is a song about dying. What is that song about? Yeah, it's a song about, it's a song about growing old with someone. It's a song about dying, or knowing that you're, that's funny. It's changed its meaning to me, I think. because it is a song that is appropriate for both weddings and funerals. And I think that's because those moments aren't, those two things, right? Because we're not talking about death, we're talking about societal parties, societally expected parties of a wedding and of a funeral. They're both endings, right? Any celebration is the passing of the observation and the witnessing of a moment ending. And a wedding is the ending of two lives as single, as individual, and it is the start of two individual lives connected by law forever. And a funeral is the end of a life. And I think Weathered is a song about the passing of those moments. It's a song about celebrating the passing of those moments from one moment to the next, and the mixture of grief and joy that exists in those moments. Like, I had a wedding. I'm not married anymore, but at my wedding, it was incredible. It was also really sad. There was grief there, in the same way that there's grief in any like birthday party I throw or celebration I go to. I think grief's a really wonderful and important feeling that we often think is sad, but doesn't always have to be. What next? What would you change if you could change something about the music industry right now? Oh, it's a beautiful question. It's a lovely, gorgeous question. It makes me feel very warm and fuzzy in my tummy. I'd get rid of streaming altogether. I would immediately put more restrictive rights on AI in creative fields. I don't think that someone who enters prompts into a computer should be getting record deals. I think that is borderline criminal. And I would, if I could click my fingers, undo the conditioning that we've all had over the last decade to convince us that that music is no longer art, it's content. It's the only art form where we've allowed that to happen. Film, we still have a value against. You will still pay every time you see a film. A book, you will always pay every time you read a book. A play, you will always pay for a ticket when you go and see a play or a musical. Music is the only thing that we've decided it's okay that we're not going to pay for it anymore. That I would change immediately. I would brainwash all of us back into a state in which we were happy to pay for the art that we consume. And I say we collectively, because I do it. I stream with Tidal, and vinyls are expensive. Apart from mine, I think mine's really fairly priced, actually. I think my one's fairly priced, and you should all buy it. Yeah, that's me sitting in the offices of my label and telling you an answer that is fair to them and me, and also true. No, they wouldn't care if I went off on one, but also there's no point. Daniel Ek doesn't care about music. He cares about funding war. Anyway, what food would you recommend we snack on while we listen to the new album? Don't eat. Listen to the album. Jesus Christ, why do you need constant stimulant? Fucking hell. This is what we're up against, guys. Popcorn. No, I would genuinely suggest doing one listen that is intentional. And then do whatever you want. Then treat it however you want to treat it. Put it in the background, put it on a running playlist, eat food and have it on passively wherever you want. I mean that with all my heart. Give it one intentional listen. Just to go back to the AI thing very, very quickly. There are tools in this world designed to make us stupid, and designed to make us lose our critical thinking. Listen with a critical mind. Dislike it, love it, whatever you want. But give it an intentional listen. I really think that is important. That we require that of ourselves. And yeah, food is passive consumption. I get what you're talking about. And in which case I would say sweet and salty popcorn mixed with peanut M&Ms in it. because that is the best snack that has ever existed. But do that on your second listen. Give it one listen intentionally. Have I missed any questions in the chat? Or no, I'm pretty up to date, aren't I? All right, while we wait for a couple more, let's see what have we got on the Instagram questions that came in. How am I finding the process of this album release compared to others? Asks Ellis White on Instagram. It's a really good question, and I feel like I've touched on it already. It is really different. It is difficult as well. Things are more abstract now. It's strange. There's more distance between the duality of abstract, which the music industry has always been, because at the end of the day, it's art and it's our opinions about art and what do we think as individuals versus what do we think collectively about a piece of work. And then also, lots of people seem to think that they have answers about what we do. And I don't think I've got answers about what we do. I don't think I've got answers about what you should do in terms of the music you should listen to. Also, I don't know if you've seen the state of the world recently. Kind of hard to find the joy in doing things. So yeah, I mean, releasing an album has felt, I'll be really honest with you, releasing an album this time around has felt way more like a job in previous years where it's been an absolute joy. This time it's much harder, and it's not anyone's fault other than it's the state of things and where we are. I still love my job. I still wouldn't do anything else. I'm so proud of this album and the work I've done on it. Like I produced it and I mixed it and I put a lot of effort into its creation. Other than that, I kind of have to just surrender it to you guys. So yeah, it's hard. But come the 15th, it's out. It's done. I'm kind of done with that bit, and then I just hopefully get to play it a lot, which I'm really looking forward to. I want to get back on the road because there I feel a little more aligned. Yeah, there's not as much alignment here anymore. There's a couple more have come in the chat. Albums listened to front or back or shuffle. I myself am front to back, but all my friends are immediately on shuffle. Amelia, all of your friends are fucking idiots. Get new friends. Easy as that. Tell them. I don't care anymore. I'm a firm believer. Again, I think the way in which we've been encouraged to consume music has made us all lazy. Why the arrogance of someone who listens to an album on shuffle? It baffles me. Get new friends. Your friends are idiots. Tell them I said that. Next. Matt, I've answered all your questions. You can have a chill, mate. Oh, I know you're the only question that's left. How does it work in the music industry for touring? So how can fans like us help ensure that I can tour globally outside of just buying the merch and albums? We definitely have more. But yeah. Matt, it's a great question because you guys don't know. You're not. It's not that the information is held from you, but it's certainly not given to you openly. My first record label, I was signed to Universal Music Group, who are a very big record label, and they saw a lot of potential in me, and so they gave me what was called tour support. And essentially what that means is they, as a label, through marketing spend, can afford to give me loads of fucking money to put into a show that I then tour around the world, because it's a promotional touring, right? To promote the album. The idea being you pay that money back. So they then also take loads of money off of ticket sales and merchandise, and they make that money back. And then you can start investing in your own touring, and because you're starting to make more money in other ways, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that never really happened for me. So now the tour supports are harder to come by across the industry, because touring is really expensive. Post the pandemic, prices for third-party vendors have skyrocketed and just haven't come down. That's buses, that's vans, that's hiring gear, hiring instruments, whatever you might need to actually get out on the road and then arrive at a venue. So much money goes into that before you even turn up at the gig. And then you might sell the gig out, you might get a bonus because you sell it out, depending on the deal that you've got with your promoters, but it still might not, depending on what you've paid to just get there and get your gear there and get the show rehearsed and set up, still might not cover your expenses. So touring is just a loss at the moment for a lot of people, not for everyone, but for a lot of people. Frustratingly enough, without me finding a generous benefactor somewhere, there's not really a lot that you guys can do as fans to directly support that, other than what it is I'm already kind of encouraging you to do, which is pay for the art. Like stream it to your heart's content. That is the way that everyone consumes music, absolutely. But if you support the artist, and this isn't just me, this is across the board, I say this on behalf of all musicians I know, invest in what they're doing. The best way to invest in an artist's work is no longer by engaging with their music, it's by buying it. And if that's not possible, it's just by paying for something, whether that's merchandise or ticket sales. Best album, which is why I say this a lot and I stand by it. If the only way that you consume art is by streaming it, and that's the only way that you consume art, you don't support artists. And I don't say that to be mean or like bold or brave. It is just true. Supporting artists nowadays means separating yourself from your money and putting it towards the art that you love. All art has been paid for forever and ever and ever, for as long as art has been around. It's always been paid for. It's harder to come across that now. It's a great question. Kay Stevens, it's a very good point. You can't listen on shuffle if you're on vinyl. That's my fans. That's why I love you guys. Yeah, I mean, still tell your friends that they're idiots if they listen to albums on shuffle. Any remixes of new music on the horizon? Asks K Perry 925. No. Next question. No. If you so I last week put all the stems for Hire up on SoundCloud, and you can download them. You can do the remixes. There's a really good friend of mine, Gio Jordan, who's an amazing musician. He's been sending me clips of himself in the studio making a remix, which I can't wait to hear all of. But no, you can download them. And I think people are uploading them to SoundCloud every now and then. And I should hopefully start listening to some of them soon, and I'll share my favorite ones. But no, there's no remixes coming up. I have been doing alternate versions for every song. So I've been re-recording the songs and then in like different ways. Catherine Will, the alternate version is out. Ready, Steady, Go, the alternate version is out. Higher, it's not out yet, but it will be probably in the next couple of weeks. But I've done that for all the singles. There's alternate versions, which aren't quite remixes, but yeah. I mean, if the Higher stems challenge, whatever goes well, we could do them for the rest of the singles. But that's kind of down to you guys if you engage with it and if you want to do it or not. Can we do an Indiegogo? Matt, he's back. He's not stopping. Is our Matt Flanagan? Can we do an Indiegogo to fund the tour? Okay. I love you so much. I don't think there's enough of you. That's just to speak plainly. The money would help, and it would soften the blow of what would inevitably be a loss. That's it. Biggest, to go back to the question I had from, I can't remember who it was, is the finding the process of the album release. I answered a question a while ago, how are you finding the process of this album release compared to others? And one of the things I could say there that also applies to this is re-engaging fans this time around has been really, really tough. Really challenging. I've got like 97,000 followers on Instagram or something. There's 104,000 subscribers on YouTube. I mean, currently 61 people have watched this. Like, it is so hard getting in front of people at the moment. So as much as I love the idea, love the idea, Matt. um, the as much as the idea is a really good idea, realistically, it doesn't present itself as a viable option, given the context of like where I am and what's going on and who I'm trying to get in front of, and what I'm trying to do. The tour is really important. It is really important. It's how I sold my first record, was being out on the road. But the fact of the matter is the money isn't there. And without a significant change in that very quickly, it's going to be hard to see where, without a significant change in my like cash fluidity very quickly, there'll be no tour immediately. But, you know, the album will go out, money will get made. I can start putting some tours on once there are people who want to put me on. And I'll be doing festivals. Now, like when I get an album out, I'll be doing festivals, and that will help a lot. And that's just been tough because I've been away for a while, so no one wants to book me for one, which is fair. I'm like, I get it. But no, next year, 100%. If I'm not doing festivals next year, it'll be for one of two reasons. Either I've quit or I've died. So keep your eyes out. Am I on Letterboxd? Asks Will Toll Picks. No, I'm not, and I should be. It's dumb that I'm not. What did I do? I had a plane day yesterday, which is when I sit at home and I nest and I eat food and I just watch films. And I watched The King's Speech, and then immediately after it, I watched The Imitation Game. For no other reason other than I just love watching white British men win wars. Yeah, no, I don't know why I watched those two. I really want to watch Coraline again as well. I haven't seen that in fucking forever. Yeah, I should watch them, and I should do a thing. You're absolutely right, Will, and I'm very sorry that I'm not on it. All right, a couple more. We got a question on Instagram from Sandstorm Pauline. That's a great handle. As your songs take on a life of their own, does your emotional connection to them change? Yes, absolutely, 100%. In the same way that you know, you go through phases where you hate your children. No, the songs, I spend so much time with them when I'm making them, and then when they're done, I let them go. Right? You have to. I can't hold on to songs that aren't directly or physically in front of me anymore. I can't hold on to songs forever. That's unfair. Me making them doesn't give me access to ownership of them either, I don't think. There's this great quote by a comedian called Pete Holmes, who says that art is highly sensitive people reporting back to the rest of the group what reality is like for them. These songs are a report, right? That's all they are. That's why I get to, when I play them live, I get to feel them again, because I'm giving the report again. But the report on the album is given. I've done it. It's done. It's out. It's finished. My emotional intention to the songs is kind of irrelevant at the point of handing over to your listening experience. Then it's on you. Then you have to kind of step up and do your part of the agreement that we have, which is that I report and that you listen. Yeah, I think also as well, there's a song on the album actually that I wrote years ago called Love Myself Again. I wrote this in 2019 on Pillars. I wrote this in 2019 with two friends of mine, James Flanagan and Henry Brill. And I wrote it at the time about my ex-wife, who was my wife at the time. And since our separation, and the song has stuck with me for so long, right? And I love it so much. I haven't changed any of the lyrics. All the lyrics are exactly the same. But now when I listen to it, it's a song about my friends, which is kind of why I wrote it about my ex-wife in the first place. She was my best friend. And the song is about how these people in my life, or at least from my understanding of it now, it's about how these people in my life constantly show up and love me in a way that reminds me I am lovable and makes me in turn then want to love myself. So even in the course of that song's creation and realization, the meaning of it changed completely for me. But God, who knows if that's what it's going to mean to you? It might mean something else entirely, which is the beauty of the report. All I do is just say the words, and it's kind of up to you to decipher them. All right, we got one more question on this list, and if any more come in, I'll answer them. What's your biggest challenge right now? Says Ledders8 from Instagram. I mean, my biggest challenge right now is this fucking campaign. There is so much about it that I love. Honestly, I don't want to sound like I'm just sitting here complaining, because I'm not. I love this. I love what I do. I'm so proud that my music has allowed me this career, and that you guys love it, and that you're here, and that you engage with it. Honestly, it is fucking brilliant. It is. Yeah, like I'm not old enough to not understand, and I'm not young enough to be new. And I'm in this weird gray age where I kind of have to roll with everything, and it feels really strange. It's so against how I grew up in the industry. Like I got signed at 22, and released my first album at 24. My frontal lobe hadn't fully developed by the time I was touring the world and winning awards and putting my album out. Like, I grew up in this industry, and I've come back to it a couple of times. And the breaks I've taken have always been 5 years for some reason. And I don't know why that is. And I don't mean for it to happen, and it won't happen again, I promise. But there's got to be something in that. It is a challenge to monetize the thing that you love. But I have only ever loved it as a monetized thing. Like, I love albums, and I love shows, and I love vinyl, and I love music so much in the way that we've all kind of come to commercialize it. I really love it. I love it in its truest, like monkey brain form of just beats and melody and grunting. I love it as that, and I love it when it's polished and finished and pop and wide and glossy. I love all of it, the entire spectrum of what music can offer. I love every single piece of it, which is why it's even more of a struggle to then be releasing it and find it as like push and pull as I am finding it. Yeah, that's a good question. And that's my answer to it. A couple more questions have come in the chat. Well, actually, no, just one. Who's my favorite artist or band? Okay. So where are we at the moment? What am I listening to right now? I am listening to a lot of, I always go back to Ethan Gruska when I am feeling uninspired. I think he's incredible. His two solo albums, Slow Motionary and On Guard, are amazing. The band that he was in with his sister, Barbara Gruska, it's called the Bell Brigade. They had two albums in like 2014 or 2015 or something. The first one's called the Bell Brigade. The second one's called Just Because. Just Because is I think a perfect album from start to finish. And the Bell Brigade, the album, has got some of the best songs on it. There's like 2 or 3 songs on the Bell Brigade that I wish I'd written. That I think, had I been in a certain space at a certain time and been visited by a certain inspiration, I would have written those songs. And I hear that in them. They're so fucking good. Jesus Christ. Love them. I love Wet Leg. Listening to a bit of Sire Grey, not loads. Listening to what's his name? This guitarist. I was telling my dad about him earlier. Who is incredible. Ariel Posen is brilliant, is absolutely incredible. Well, what's on the old album 3 playlist? Sylvanesso, DM Stith, Blake Mills, Tennyson. Tennyson's fucking incredible. Tennyson's this insane producer. I think he lives out in Japan now. He's fucking incredible. He's so good. Adrian Lenker, obviously. Imogen and the Knife, I adore her. She's got an amazing song called Mother of God, which woke my soul up. Becky and the Birds is incredible as well. Men I Trust, great. Yeah, there's a few. Put it on a playlist. I was there one in here? One, yeah, James Turner talking to me about Nate Mercero, whose name I don't know how to pronounce. But Nate Mercer, you discovered Nate Mercer through my Jamie Liddell interview, and it blew my mind. What other albums do you recommend that really push the boundaries sonically, like Joy Techniques? Joy Techniques is so fucking good. That's an album by Nate Mercer, who is this producer, writer based out in LA. I think he like writes for fucking oh god, what's his name? Like Charlie Puth. And his solo stuff is prog rock, and it's so fucking good. But similar albums like that, there's the John Wizards, South African band, who just put one album out. I think it's self-titled, The John Wizards. Is it without an H? Ooh, I can't find it. But the John Wizards is a band that's like really crazy. Oh, what else? Joy Techniques. Where's that? Is it The Animal Spirit? Hang on. The Animal Spirits by James Holden. That's really fun. That's a really fun record. There's a lot of fun stuff in that. And then another one specifically talking about like pushing sonic boundaries. It's the. Are we still on? Great. The album by Bolus Poople and fuck. I gotta find it. Hang on. Charlotte Adisere. Charlotte Adisere and Bolus Poople have an album called Topical Dancer, which is fucking crazy. That thing is so insane. That's such a good album. All the songs are great. And the production's incredible. The two of them together is a match made in heaven. So yeah, those are good albums. I can't even remember what I suggested, but those ones is what I would say. Beverly JT Royston's back with another question. Who would you like to collab with? I genuinely really fortunately get to collaborate with the people I want to. And at the moment, I've been exclusively working, not exclusively for any reason other than she's just the only person I've been working with. But Tamzine, who's an amazing friend of mine, and I mean, that's second to the incredible songwriter and musician that she is. I produced her last EP and co-wrote a lot of it with her. And we're trying to figure out an album for her at the moment. She's phenomenal. She's so good. Working with her is amazing. But like, love working with her. I've collabed with some good people. Like I worked with Casey Hill years ago, who's doing amazing things at the moment. And Katy Perry, which was very fun and very interesting. I've been doing a lot of work as well with a spoken word poet. He's a friend of mine, Caitlin O'Ryan. We've been doing some stuff together as well. Yeah, I don't know. There's no one really on my list. I'd love to do something with Ethan Gruska, only because that would be a dream come true for me. Just because I look up to him so much. I got to figure out a way of doing an album that I can co-produce with Sylvan Esso, just because I think it would break the limit on the world I've created in my own head. I think if I could work with them and produce something with them, it would blow my mind. Yeah, I owe, in the same way that if I could do something with Ryan Lott and with the Sun Lux guys, it would, like, I owe so much of my career to listening to their music and the way in which their music said to me, by the way, this is what your music could be as well. Like, just open your ears a little bit more and do something else. Yeah, Sylvan Esso would be amazing. Sun Lux would be incredible. Ethan Gruska would be great. Yeah. Those are good ones. We've got a few more questions here from some other people. How long are we going for? 10 more minutes. Okay, cool. Why is the album called Pillars? That's a very good question. So the album is called Pillars there for this reason. I wrote this down in my journal like last year, maybe 2 years ago, and it jumped out to me really obviously. I wrote down that there are 3 pillars to my love, because so much of the work I've been doing with my therapist has been about love and the way I receive it and the way that I send it and how I offer it to myself. And I wrote down there are 3 pillars to my love: my self-love, my platonic love, and my romantic love. And I had this idea that these 3 pillars, like they share between them like fair, balanced weight and tension. And if any one of them fails, it puts unfair weight and tension on the other 2. And I could see that happening, that I was like denying myself. I was denying myself of my self-love. And so therefore I was putting unfair pressure on my platonic love and on my romantic love. And the last couple of years for me has been about rebuilding the self-love pillar to make all 3 of them a bit stronger. And it just hit me as a concept for an album. I was already writing about those things, so it made so much sense for the album to be called Pillars. I had the title before I had a lot of the songs. I think at that point I'd written Catherine Wheel. And actually I'd written Catherine Wheel. I'd written a lot of songs that I ended up cutting from the record. The record became something else as I started writing it. But it's called Pillars because it's about those 3 pillars and their relationship together. What's time? Few more minutes, few more questions. What was the hardest song to write on the new album? Boy. Ready, Steady, Go was tough only because it was so like a sound I feel like I've already done that all my demons came back for a hot minute. Yeah, it was really tough I kept second guessing myself because I didn't want to be a one-trick pony. I didn't want to bring back a sound I felt like I'd already tapped into. And then I kind of had to come to the realization myself that is character, that there is character in that sound that is attributed to me. Not attributed to me, but that I write through. That one was a hard one. Higher was not. None of them were easy. I don't think any song is easy to write. I have this thing where I say I don't like the idea that people think that making art, especially songwriting, is like tending to flowers in a garden. It's not. It's draining an abscess. It's like dirty and mucky work. And if it's done wrong, it can cause infection. And if it's done right, then you've got like a nice scar at the end of it. So none of them were easy. They all had challenges. Ready, Steady, Go was hard for lots of reasons. The last song on the album, the last song on the album was tough. I can't remember the name of it now. I've got half of it in my head. Flight the Bee. Big of Me, parentheses, Flight the Bee. That was hard to write only because I worked really hard on it. I kept writing verses for it and kept going back and like refinishing old lyrics and changing them and shortening them and making them better and snappier and cleaner. This album came from my obsessive need to just be a better songwriter, and especially a better lyricist. And with that song in particular, I had to. I knew what I wanted the song to be about. I knew so clearly what each of the verses needed to be. And it just became a case of writing as many lyrics as possible and then finding the best verses, the ones that had the best brevity, the one that had the cleanest execution, the ones that meant that the meaning of the song traveled the shortest distance between me singing it and you hearing it. Yeah, I'm really proud of that song. I think it's got my favorite lyric on it on the album. And yeah, the whole of the last verse of that song. Yeah, you'll have to listen to it. I mean, if you're coming to Brighton tomorrow, you will. Okay, I got like 5 more minutes. Is there any more questions in the chat? No. Oh, Amelia, I think I've already answered a question of yours, but you're being very kind by asking more. Do I prefer to write lyrics or music? And do you have music that you haven't found the right lyrics? Not all music needs lyrics, I think, is something I'm really learning as well. Not all songs appear like songs. Not all pieces of music are songs. Yeah, I write music first. I find lyrics really, really hard. I find lyrics really hard. They are a struggle. But like I said, I think songwriting is draining an abscess. I think songwriting is hard work. Sometimes there's this great book I read called Several Short Sentences About Writing. And it's about like writing a book, but there's so much about it that just lends itself to good advice when it comes to creating anything. And the author of that book writes this whole bit about flow and about how he disagrees with that term. That your job as a writer is to construct and reshape and change and break and dismantle and break apart words and sentences. And if that is your job, like breaking, dismantling, stopping, starting, how can your work ever flow? It can't. Flow is something that the reader experiences, not the writer. And that has absolutely changed my life. Thinking about it like that, thinking about lyricism like that, thinking about the creative endeavor like that. It doesn't flow. There is no flow. He even says, like, you'll experience moments where it feels like time passes, and people will falsely attribute that to flow rather than to the months and days of work that's gone into that moment happening. It's fucking euphoric. It's an incredible piece of advice. But music, I have more training in music. It flows out of me more. I have a better relationship with myself with music than I do with lyricism. Lyricism I find so fucking hard because I care about it. I respect it so much. Like I've got a tattoo by Stephen Sondheim on my arm that gives me advice on what to come back to whenever I'm overthinking a lyric. Like I care about it a lot. Matt, our guy, he's back with another question. Would you ever be open to writing the score for a film? Yes. 100%, desperately, would love to. Just need the opportunity. Put me in, coach. I'm ready. Yeah, I've done bits and pieces of things before. I've written to spec before, but I've never written a score. I'd love to. I think the times when in the past I've wanted to, I wasn't ready. I would have tried to write someone else's score for something, whereas now I feel so much more confident in my ability to just write what I would make. But no, I would love to do that. Maybe one day. Maybe. We'll see. Fingers crossed. I mean, that's my brain space done. Thank you so much, guys, for sticking around and for being here. You can pre-order Pillars. You can do that right now. Go to my website and do that if you haven't done it already. The album Pillars comes out August 15th, which is so soon. It makes me want to throw up a little bit inside of my tiny mouth. Thank you for being here. Thanks for all of your support. Thanks for all of your love. And I will see you soon. I'm going to just press end stream and then I'll disappear forever. Bye. end stream and redirect viewers. Yes. Redirect viewers to the higher official music video. Yeah. Okay, great.
Nice. Great job.
Thanks, Steve.